Network.
Stay in touch with the Kets on our social media. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram by going to Cotuit Kettleers to keep up to date with scores, pictures, behind-the-scenes content, and more. Follow us today.
You're listening to Kettleers Baseball on the Kettleers Radio Network. Tune in to all of our road broadcasts by downloading
Welcome back to the Kettleers starting 9 ahead of Game 12 for the Cotuit Kettleers versus Falmouth. I'm Lily Butler, joined alongside Joe Pratt and Tyler Danberg. Now, last night, not necessarily the end result the Kets were looking for, but a really great first 8 innings. Tyler, what stood out to you in those first 8 innings?
Well, I think it starts with Chris Kaler out of George Washington. Had a 5-inning scoreless start, looked really good. He walked none, only allowed 1 base runner, and really just 3 base runners allowed through those first 8 innings before the Hyannis offense started to get going. So Kaler's really stood out for me in his second start.
And then, last night Coach said they're looking to bounce back tonight, and I think that's going to start on the mound for the Kettleers tonight. Jake Gigliotti will be starting. Joe, what other keys to the game do you think are going to come in play tonight?
Well, obviously Gigliotti having a solid start on the mound. He went a couple innings at Orleans. He got the start there last Friday, picked up 3 Ks. All of those were looking to left-handed batters, so he's really good against those lefty batters in this Falmouth lineup. Of course, loaded with plenty of those. He's got to hone in against the righties as well, really land that fastball nicely, but he was really working well with that backdoor slide, so I think we can expect more of that today. Gigliotti also setting a career-high record for himself, 65 strikeouts this season at Northeastern. I spoke with him earlier, so we'll go ahead and send it to that interview and be right back for the Kettleers starting 9. I'm joined alongside Jake Gigliotti of the Cotuit Kettleers, starting on the mound tonight. Jake, your second start for the Kets. Is there anything you picked up on last time and looked to work on before this start?
Yeah, definitely. I know Coach Roberts talks a lot about the changeup. So this past week I've been trying to just develop that a lot better and just get more comfortable with it during catch play and stuff. So I think today I'm looking to use that a lot.
And then Danny Crossan, a member of the Kettleers coaching staff. You guys played together a little bit at Northeastern. Can you tell us about your relationship and how that's kind of impacted your time here?
Yeah, Danny's the best. I can't say enough good things about Danny. He's just a gamer. He loves the game. He understands the game, and he just wants to be around the game as much as he can. So getting to reunite with him down here was awesome.
And then a little bit of time with YD last season, now here with the Kettleers. Is there something specific you're looking to improve on this season with the Kettleers coaching staff?
Yeah, I think at YD last year I only got like 1 outing, so definitely just getting some more numbers under my belt and some more innings under my belt, and just keep performing at a good level is just all I'm looking to do.
All right, thank you so much, Jake. Now back to the Kettleers starting 9. That was Jake Gigliotti. Now, looking forward to tonight, I think a big player in tonight's game is going to be the offense. We've seen it a little bit. I think it's going to have to keep being aggressive and keep working up those pitch counts and then finding ways to get on base. Tyler, what's your key to tonight's game?
I'll kind of go on top of that. I'll go with stealing bases. Obviously, this year's team, no exception to the tradition of base running here in Cotuit under manager Mike Roberts. 8-1 are the Kettleers this year when they have stolen multiple bases. And that only loss was yesterday against Hyannis.
Yeah, I definitely think that plays a key factor. Joe, what are you looking at tonight?
Well, tonight, going back to last night, as Tyler just mentioned, it's going to be pitching and, most importantly, relief pitching. Got to be able to get those final outs of the game. Can't give up too many free passes. That's something that this rotation has done not such a great job of in these past few games, especially towards the end of the game. We saw it in Chatham. We saw it last night in Hyannis. So that's going to be really important tonight just to back up Jake Gigliotti. He'll have the start for a couple innings there, and then they'll go to the bullpen after that, and they're just going to have to really clamp down. The defense is going to have to play well behind them as well, so that's my key.
Absolutely. I think all three of those things are going to play a great part in tonight's matchup, and we'll have the call with Joe and Tyler tonight, sending it back up to the booth for first pitch at 5 p.m.
He hits it high and deep to left field. This ball is crushed.
Twilight's last evening, whose bright stripes send bright stars through the perilous fight. O'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets rang there, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Ladies and gentlemen, the Massachusetts State Lottery also honors a Hero of the Day on this Friday, as selected by the Cotuit Athletic Association and the Cotuit Kettleers. And tonight's Hero of the Day is Glenn Ware. Glenn is a teacher in the Bedford Public School System, teaching math for the past 20 years. Glenn is also a host family and board member for the Cotuit Athletic Association. He manages housing and manages social media. We thank Glenn for his service to both the Kettleers and to education. How about a nice round of applause?
The Mixler app, and by searching up Cotuit Kettleers.
Cotuit Baseball lives here on the Kettleers Digital Network.
Cape Cod Coffee is a proud sponsor of the Kettleers.
At Bowen Middle School, working with students.
It's another picturesque day for baseball here at Lowell Park in Cotuit, Massachusetts. Time for game number 12 of the Cape Cod Baseball League season as the Cotuit Kettleers take on the Falmouth Commodores. Hi everybody and welcome into the booth. Alongside Joe Pratt, Lily Butler, Liam Barrett, Abigail Lott, I'm Tyler Damberg as the 8-3 Kettleers host the 3-6-1 Falmouth Commodores. And Joe, Cotuit coming off a tough loss yesterday, up 6-0 in the ninth, but then Hyannis roaring back with 7 runs, and they walk it off 7-6 in 10.
Yeah, it was just a tough finish to that one there for Cotuit. Of course, they go 17 scoreless against Hyannis in that home-and-home series there. They take game 1, and then, like you said, a 6-0 lead going into the bottom of the ninth. No team has overcome that since 2011 until last night when Hyannis did it themselves. They put up 6 in the bottom of the ninth after loading up the bases a couple of times, and then Cotuit bunts the runner over there in the top of the 10th to get him over to third, but Hyannis able to escape that jam, and they do the exact same thing against Cotuit. Bunt the runner over, but the difference was a single hit right back up the middle, and that ended up being the difference in that one. A 7-6 walk-off win for Hyannis in that one, but the beauty of baseball is that they got another shot to come back tonight and get a win against Falmouth.
Yeah, 44 chances in the regular season to get back at it. And here comes chance number 33. So, Joe, let's get a look at the Falmouth lineup. The Commodores, they are 3-6-2, I should say, because they've tied twice, and they are 2-5 in one-run games, including a 6-5 loss yesterday at Doran Park against Bourne. So, who will lead things off and get things started for the Commodores?
Leading off for the doors today. Travis Bazana out of Oregon State making his debut in the Cape League, and he is in the DH spot. John Spakerman right after him. He plays center field. Kyle DeBarge bats third and plays short. Kevin Bazell out of Texas Tech plays third and bats in the cleanup spot. Walker Yannick out of Sam Houston does the catching. He bats fifth, followed by Gavin Turley, who plays left field out of Oregon State as well. He makes his first appearance this summer. Cade Snell right after him. He plays first, bats seventh. He is also making his CCBL debut in this one. Christian Martin bats eighth and plays second base, followed by Tab Tracy, bats ninth, playing right field out of Texas A&M.
And Jake Gigliotti going to make his second start for the Kettleers.
Gigliotti, a great performance in Orleans last Friday, went over 3 innings in that one, got a couple of backwards Ks. He'll be looking to do much more of that. We talked to him, Lily Butler did in the starting 9 earlier, about establishing that changeup, so we can expect plenty of that being thrown today to go along with that fastball sink and slider as well.
Of course, the Northeastern Husky, a redshirt junior out of Coral Springs, Florida, and he will face Travis Bazana, one of 2 Oregon State Beavers in this lineup that have just been recently activated. Going to make his debut of the year. 70 degrees and nothing but sunshine. All the gray skies opened up early on today, and Bazana pulls one to first. Ryan Galaney back into the lineup, makes the play. So Galaney at first, he's missed the last handful of games. At second, also making his debut, is Emilian Petre. Kalai Harrison at NC State's at short. Jay Harry Penn State is at third. T.O. Banks from Tulane in left. Brett Bateman out of Minnesota in center. Ryan Waldschmidt, a Kentucky teammate of Petre, is in right. Caleb Lomavita doing the catching. And there's a called strike to John Spikerman. Great to see Ryan Galaney back out. He's playing first today. This is going to be his first Cape League appearance at first. Had played mostly at third for the Kettleers, and last year when he played in the back end of the season, and then to start the year off in 2023, but played most of his season this year at Wofford at first base.
So he'll have to adjust to the other side of the diamond. Of course, playing deep over there at first. Now he'll have to pay attention to more than just making the throw.
Slow roller to second. Petre, 2 down.
And of course, like you said, he has experience at first. He looks like he found his footing nicely there. It's a difficult position to play, especially when you don't play it every single day. And there's definitely an adjustment to be made because you got to navigate around the bag and stuff, so it's kind of difficult, especially coming back from injury. But
yeah, you never really think about how much of a difference it is seeing it from the other side. It's 1-0 on Kyle DeBarge out of Louisiana Lafayette. And the Ragin' Cajun tags one foul. DeBarge has hit safely in his last 4 games. 5 for 23 on the year. Gigliotti's 1-1. Rifled back up the middle. Petre knocks it down, but will not have a play to first. A kangaroo hop single for Kyle DeBarge with 2 down.
that's just a tough hop there for Petre to field, and he does a good job of keeping it in front of him. We saw a couple awkward bounces as both teams were warming up, taking infield earlier today, so that's something that we'll need to pay attention to as this game goes on. Looks like a kind of a tough one to field there for Petre. As you said, a kangaroo hop right in front of him.
And there wasn't too much rain that would have allowed it to play a factor on the grass, but maybe he just caught an awkward patch of turf. That one shot foul to the dugout. Kettleers managed by Mike Roberts in his 19th year with the Kettleers. Falmouth with Jeff Trundy, his 25th year at the Falmouth Post. So 2 very experienced Cape League managers going at it today for the first time in 2023. Shot to short and a catch made by Harrison. his first game at shortstop this year. 1-2-3 for Jake Gigliotti. We go to the bottom of the first, no score here at Lowell Park.
They offer breakfast and lunch, as well as indoor and outdoor dining. Check out Cape Cod Coffee at their 3 locations on Route 130, at Mashpee Commons, at Wareham Commons, or on their website at capecodcoffee.com.
This year, the Cape Cod Baseball League celebrates its 100th anniversary. For over a century, baseball has been a staple on Cape Cod, producing over 1,600 Major League Baseball players. To learn more about the Cape League Centennial Celebration, go to capecodbaseball.org today.
When the unexpected happens, make sure you and your assets are insured appropriately. The agents at Leonard Insurance Agency can tailor coverage to meet your needs. Call 508-428-6921 to talk to their licensed agents today.
Stay in touch with the Kets on our social media. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram by going to Cotuit Kettleers to keep up to date with scores, pictures, behind-the-scenes content, and more. Follow us today.
Hi, this is Ryan Galaney, the corner infielder for the Cotuit Kettleers, and you're listening to the Kettleers Digital Network.
There's a weekend in July where the baseball world revolves around a village in upstate New York. Baseball Hall of Fame induction weekend in Cooperstown is an unforgettable.
Tyler Danberg, Joe Pratt, Lily Butler, Liam Barrett, Abigail Lott with you for the home half of the first. And Joe, let's get the lineups for the Cotuit Kettleers under Mike Roberts.
Well, Roberts has these guys lining up a little bit differently today. A couple new faces in the lineup down there towards the bottom of it, and it'll start off with Brett Bateman. He's been on a tear this year, 16 for 31 through the first 11 games of the year. He's followed by T.O. Banks, who bats second. He's back in the lineup today, along with Caleb Lomavita, who bats third, followed by Ryan Galaney, who is also a returner to this Kets order today. And batting fifth is Jay Harry. Batting sixth, right behind him, Cannon Peebles in the DH spot, Emilian Petre. He plays second out of Kentucky and bats seventh, followed by Ryan Waldschmidt, who plays right field, also out of Kentucky. He bats eighth. And at the bottom of the order in the 9 spot for the 4th straight game, it'll be Kalai Harrison.
So Brett Bateman starts it off in those red jerseys for Red Shirt Friday. Logan Van Treek is on. And he fires a strike as Bateman pulls back on the bunt. Van Treek going to make his 3rd appearance, his first start. He's a junior out of Lipscomb. His 0-1 is low. A breakout year for Van Treek, the A-Sun pitcher of the year, 8-5, a 3.67 earned run average, and 108 strikeouts in over 88 innings of work. But it was an important season for him on a personal level. His 2022 campaign, he had an earned run average of around 11. Walked as many batters as he struck out at 24. 1-2 on Brett Bateman. And he takes off the outside. So what does Van Treek do this year? 6th in the country in strikeouts to walks, over 7 for every base on ball. And he attributes his transformation to a mindset change. The 2-2. Swinging foul tip. And it's strikeout number 1 of the day for Van Treek.
You saw it right there, that transition that he made from 2022 to 2023. And he falls behind on Brett Bateman there, but then he comes right back and gets the strikeout on him. It's a great piece of sequencing that time from Van Treek.
T.O. Banks is ahead of the count. He's 2 for 10 on the year with a double. Got a hit in his last game played 2 games ago in the win against Hyannis. A 6-1 victory. Fly ball, right field, and foul. And going back to Van Treek's transformation, before this season he went to the director of sports nutrition at Lipscomb, Grace White, and she suggested him to be himself on the field and off instead of creating a persona on the field. And it really helped. The 1-1. Pop fly, right side of the infield. Christian Martin is there to make the catch. And at that point, Van Schriek told News 5, he was so dismal at that point, he was like, might as well give this a shot. And since then, it's clicked.
Well, he went from 11.69 ERA in 2022 all the way down to 3.67 this year. So it worked.
And it just goes to show you, too, the importance of the mental side, especially as a pitcher, just staying mentally strong, and how that can really spark a lot of change. It's 1-on-1 on Loma Vida.
Something that a lot of pitchers will have to deal with, and just can't get too caught up in your mistakes. You can't get too...
Chopped to short. DeBarge has it, throws out Loma Vida. So Van Schriek answers with a 1-2-3 frame. And we will go to the second inning here on the Kettleers Digital Network. Falmouth 0, Cotuit 0.
Gettable experience filled with family-friendly activities and priceless moments. Make your plans today for July 21st through the 24th for the induction of Fred McGriff and Scott Rowland as the class of 2023. Visit baseballhall.org today for the entire schedule. See you in Cooperstown, where the journey becomes legend.
Cape Cod Coffee is a proud sponsor of the Kettleers. They offer breakfast and lunch, as well as indoor and outdoor dining. Check out Cape Cod Coffee at their 3 locations on Route 130, at Mashpee Commons, at Wareham Commons, or on their website at capecodcoffee.com.
Gear up during the season by going to the Cotuit Kettleers store at Lowell Park, your place for all things Ketts merch. Can't make it to the ballpark? You can order the latest apparel and accessories on kettleersstore.org.
Missed last night's game? Catch up on everything that happened with daily recaps and sidebar stories from Shane Patagna and Jimmy Middleton by visiting cotuitkettleers.org/blog.
Stay in touch with the Ketts on our social media. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram by going to Cotuit Kettleers to keep up to date with scores, pictures, behind-the-scenes content, and more. Follow us today.
Cotuit Kettleers baseball clinics offer instructional baseball clinics for boys and girls ages 6 through 17, geared to their individual needs and skills. All participants have the opportunity to learn fundamental skills as well as good citizenship, sportsmanship, and character from skilled, experienced coaches and top collegiate baseball players. Clinics begin.
Jake Gigliotti back out to work. Only allowed a single to Kyle DeBarge back in the first. The rest was effortless. Joe, you were talking about his last start. He struck out a handful of batters, and he did it on looking Ks.
He went to that backdoor slider a lot, just trying to bring it back in. Worked out really nicely for him.
Slider misses to Walker Yannick leading off the inning. Yannick, one of 2 Sam Houston State Bearcats on the team. They had a great season, especially towards the end. They got hot in the WAC tournament, knocked off Utah Valley in big fashion, and Yannick played a big role in it. The 3-1. And he walked him. So Walker Yannick with a leadoff walk. First from Jake Gigliotti. And Gavin Turley going to make his Cape League debut.
Not the first time he's walked a guy, just one walk in his first start at Orleans. He really pounds the strike zone, does Gigliotti. We've been talking about the range of pitches that he has. Of course, with that slider, we'll see that a lot today. But he locates the fastball well to set up the slider. And like I said just a few minutes ago,
talked in the pregame show about finding that changeup and getting that to land. So there it is right there. We'll see a bit more of that this afternoon.
And that changeup's a little up there in velocity, too. Mid-80s. 86 there from Gigliotti. Watch the other way and foul. Well, we talked about Yannick having a good postseason. Gavin Turley did exactly that at Oregon State. His 6 postseason games went 14 for 25, 4 homers, and 16 RBI. The 1-1. Played in that Baton Rouge regional. Of course, LSU, the home site of that one, and they are still going after that instant classic yesterday. Tommy Tanks with the 2-run walk-off homer.
What a game.
Unbelievable pitching matchup, too, with Rhett Lauder, Paul Skeens. Generational. There's a 78-mile-per-hour slider. That's wide.
What are the odds we see those two square off again at some point?
I like those odds.
That'd be cool to see.
Here's the pitch.
Interesting to see what Gigliotti comes back with here. It's got a full count. Yannick at first, possibly going here.
Let's see what he does. Here's the pitch. Lifted into shallow right. Petray's back, and he's got it. 1 down. Turnley's retired. And that'll send Cade Snell to the dish.
From Wallace Community College, Cade Snell. Snell, number 29.
Snell out of Walters Community College. The hitter now. And he tops one foul, third base side. The Northeastern Husky is ready to let it go. 0-1. Runner goes, pitches away, throw from Loma Vida, the tag by Harrison, and it's not in time, says the second base umpire, Robert McHugh.
Well, these Commodores steal a lot of bags. They're up over 20 on the season, as are the Kettleers, but that time a little bit outside. Gigliotti goes back to that less than fastball there at 86. Loma Vida with a pretty good throw down to second in good timing, but it's a little bit to the left of that bag, and Yannick able to get the hand in on the outside of the bag.
So it's now 1-2 on Snell. Strong throw there from Loma Vida, who has yet to throw out a base runner this year, although some limited action. Swing and a miss by Snell. And he goes down on strikes. Big changeup there from Gigliotti, and there's 2 away.
There's that change, and he goes outside with it. Such a lethal pitch to throw in that situation, because a guy like Snell probably expecting the slider from Gigliotti there with 2 strikes. But it looks like the slider out of his hands, and then it cuts to the outside of the plate away from him. It's a changeup at the same speed pretty much, right at 80.
That's got to be tough for a left-handed hitter to face a pitch like that. Christian Martin tags one into left, and a leaping catch by Harrison. Oh, he just snatches that out of midair, gravitating for the third out.
Monday, June 27th, and end Friday, July 29th. To sign up, go to info.collegebaseballcamps.com/CK.
You're listening to Kettleers Baseball on the Kettleers Radio Network. Tune into all of our road broadcasts by downloading the Mixlr app and by searching up Cotuit Kettleers.
Cotuit Baseball lives here on the Kettleers Digital Network.
You're listening to Kettleers Baseball on the Kettleers Radio Network. Tune into all of our road broadcasts by downloading the Mixlr app and by searching up Cotuit Kettleers.
Stay in touch with the Kets on our social media. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram by going to Cotuit Kettleers to keep up to date with scores, pictures, behind-the-scenes content, and more. Follow us today.
When the unexpected happens, make sure you and your assets are insured appropriately. The agents at Leonard Insurance Agency can tailor coverage to meet your needs. Call 508-428-6921 to talk to their licensed agents today.
This year, the Cape Cod Baseball League celebrates its 100th anniversary. For over a century, baseball has been a staple on Cape Cod, producing over 1,600 Major League Baseball players. To learn more about the Cape
Logan Van Treek back out here for the Commodores. 3-6-2 on the year, but they've played a lot of teams really close. Just looking to get on the other side of those one-run games, they are 2-5 in those. Only just one of their losses was not decided by a run, and that was a 14-6 loss to YD, in which they were tied for most of that game.
And that was a game that Van Treek also pitched in. He went 2 innings in that one, gave up a run, struck out a batter, walked a batter. His first 2 appearances this summer, neither of them starts, but both of them against the YD Red Sox.
Ryan Galaney back into the lineup and missed the last few games with a bruised quad, sliding into second on his first hit of the year, a 2-run single against Brewster in that eventual 6-2 loss. But he's got a lot of pop, and he's in that cleanup spot today. One for 11 on the year is Galaney. And he hits it high. He hits it deep to left. On it is Turley, and this one is gone. It is first at bat back from injury. Ryan Galaney deposits it over the left field fence. And that one's got to feel good.
Hasn't gotten the start in over 5 games, has Galaney. You're still looking for that first big homer of the summer. Well, there it is right there, a little bit delayed, but he comes through in a big moment that time. He jumps all over that pitch from Logan Van Treek, yanks it all the way into deep left field, and he was long overdue. Good to see him finally knock one out of this ballpark.
Galaney's first long ball of the summer. 1-0 Kettleers. Harry hits one on the ground to short. Gloved in by DeBarge, and he throws him out at first. What a moment there for Ryan Galaney.
North Carolina State.
Saw him do that last year in Hyannis. Blasted one into left center.
And that was in game 2 of the CCBL first round. That was a win for the Kettleers to force game 3. One. And it dips into Cannon Peebles. Designated hitter. Had a pinch hit appearance yesterday. Had a runner on third, but was retired on a foul bunt with 2 strikes. Swing and a miss, 2-2. A 7-6 loss yesterday for the Kettleers, and 6-5 loss for Falmouth. Peebles slightly taps one to the left side. The third baseman, Bazell, is going to make the grab.
Bit of an emergency swing that time from Peebles. There's a little bit ahead of that breaking stuff from Van Treek. Kind of goes down to get it. Good job of getting the bat on the ball. A little bit of a weak contact as he just kind of halfway speared at it. But now we get to take a look at Emilian Pitre for the first time.
Second team All-SEC selection for the Kentucky Wildcats. Strong year this year for Kentucky. And Pitre really broke out. He swings and misses for strike 3. And Logan Van Treek exits the inning. But Ryan Galaney back into the lineup. Hits one high and far over the left field fence. And so that will do it. 1-0 Kettleers. We will go to the third and let's send it over to Lily Butler, who's got more. Lily?
Cape League Centennial Celebration. Go to capecodbaseball.org today.
Gear up during the season by going to the Cotuit Kettleers store at Lowell Park, your place for all things Cats merch. Can't make it to the ballpark? You can order the latest apparel and accessories on kettleersstore.org.
Missed last night's game? Catch up on everything that happened with daily recaps and sidebar stories from Shane Patagna and Jimmy Middleton.
Relaxes him and takes his mind off of the stress that comes with pitching before a game, and seems to be working out well for him so far, pitching 2 great innings for the Kettleers. From Lowell Park for the Kettleers Digital Network, I'm Lily Butler.
Thank you, Lily. Great moment there for Ryan Galaney, and then how about that? Jake Gigliotti. Not a bad way to prepare for games.
Well, I think it's one of those things where you just kind of got to take your mind off it a little bit. You might drive yourself a little bit crazy just thinking about what you have to do later in the day. Of course, it's something that should be a joy for him, but obviously he's got to go out there and take care of business for this team, and a lot of guys will do that. You'll see them kind of take their mind off of things by...
Galaney will flip to Gigliotti. And out is Tab Tracy, the leadoff man.
Makes a great play there. Just a bit of a mind distraction to delay yourself until it's time to start preparing for your start. And we saw him preparing early on, but a pretty relaxed warm-up routine it looked like Gigliotti had. Not too much throwing, just a classic warm-up to 90 feet. Get ready in the bullpen, and then come on for your start.
Travis Bazzana, 0 for 1 today, is now batting. The 1-1 serve. And it's going to hit his back foot, says the home plate umpire, Mark Chamberlain. And so a hit by pitch for Bazzana out of Sydney, Australia. Played in 3 years in the Australian Baseball League at ages 15, 16, and 17 for the Sydney Blue Sox, a team that Manny Ramirez was going to go to before he ended up not going out there for the season. High bouncer to second. Harry shovels for 1. On to first, not in time. John Spikerman beats it out with a fielder's choice.
A nice play that time from Pitre at second to get the toss over there to Harrison. Interesting, maybe you'll see him go for the tag instead there to get the runner and then fire over to first, but still a tough play to make there. You move forward and then dish it to your right over to short, and then he's got to make the throw across the diamond, but good job there to just get the lead runner at second.
Yeah, again, that is Emilian Pitre is at second instead of Jay Harry, who today is at third. Ryan Galaney's at first, and then the shortstop to round out the infield is Kalai Harrison. He's at short today and played his first 3 games at second. But Brock Rodden, who was released earlier on today, he'll head to the MLB draft eventually in the next couple of weeks. No longer with the team after a great start to his campaign. Oh 2 on Kyle DeBarge. And it's a tick outside. Kettleers leading 1-0 on a solo home run by Ryan Galaney. Second hit of the season. Runner travels. Lomavita's toss. And it squirts off the glove of Harrison.
And they would have had him if Petre was able to hold on to that one. It kind of skips in there to second. I think that throw would have been in time to get Bazana running from first. Just got to try to hang on to that ball a little bit better, but 2 outs in the inning.
Hard ground ball just wide of third. Tough play for Harry, but it's foul. Gigliotti's next offering.
Wonder what games he was playing earlier today to warm up with.
That's a good point. Wonder if he goes with a sports game, maybe something else, like a mission game. 3-2. Looper into right center. Petre backtracking, and the inning is over. So Jake Gigliotti controls his way out of this half inning. And we'll go to the bottom of the third on the Kettleers Digital Network. 1-0 Cotuit.
By visiting cotuitkettleers.org/blog.
There's a weekend in July where the baseball world revolves around a village in upstate New York. Baseball Hall of Fame induction weekend in Cooperstown is an unforgettable experience filled with family-friendly activities and priceless moments. Make your plans today for July 21st through the 24th for the induction of Fred McGriff and Scott Rowland as the class of 2023. Visit baseballhall.org today for the entire schedule. See you in Cooperstown, where the journey becomes legend.
Hi, this is Ryan Galaney, the corner infielder for the Cotuit Kettleers, and you're listening to the Kettleers Digital Network.
Stay in touch with the Kets on our social media. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram by going to Cotuit Kettleers to keep up to date with scores, pictures, behind-the-scenes content, and more. Follow us today.
Celebrate the history of our national pastime at the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum in Cooperstown. See priceless treasures that'll bring your baseball memories to life. Connect with us.
So we're back here for the bottom of the third. Tyler Danberg alongside Joe Pratt. And now the first at-bat of the Cape League season for Ryan Waldschmidt, another Kentucky Wildcat. Waldschmidt enjoyed a great season in his first year in Lexington with the Wildcats. The Charleston Southern transfer batted .292. He corks it deep to left. Back on it is Turley again. He's going to turn and watch it go. A parade of home runs in the first 3 frames for the Kettleers. It's 2-0.
Well, last inning it was Ryan Galaney with his first of the summer. And Ryan Waldschmidt now wasting no time
to pick up his first CCBL home run this summer with a blast into left field. Man, that one just kept carrying Tyler over the wall there in left, over the head of Turley, over everything, and it's the second homer, or the second solo homer, I should say, for Cotuit on the day. They're up 2-0 early here.
You have to really just like the approach there from Kettleers hitters early on. First it was Ryan Galaney, this time it's Ryan Waldschmidt. Welcome to Cotuit. Swing and a miss by Kalai Harrison. That one coming in 345 feet off the bat of Waldschmidt, courtesy of our friends at TrackMan.
Similar pitch that Galaney hit his out on. High 80s. Middle out, belt high. Excuse me, that's middle in to right-handed batters, of course.
That one just right down the middle. So Van Treek kind of mixing up his locations. Payoff pitch. And it flutters in for called strike 3. Looked like Van Treek pulled the string there, 79 miles an hour to strike out Harrison.
Someone needs to take a stat on players' batting average when batting right after a home run. Got to be dead low.
You know, those are the stats you really never think about. Bateman shows bunt, pulls it to the right of the mound, and Van Treek underhands for out number 2.
Just always seems like a guy follows up a big home run with a weak ground out or a strikeout looking or something like that. That's something that we're going to have to go back and look on.
Do you think there's any correlation, or do you just think that's just the way it goes sometimes?
I guess it's just kind of the way it goes, but no one ever forgets when teams go back-to-back. That doesn't happen very often, though, obviously. Doesn't happen a lot in this league.
Especially when it's 320 to right, 397 to center. And then in left field, the side of the first 2 home runs in this game, it's 320. 1-1 on T.O. Banks, who had 16 bombs this year at Tulane. First time the Kettleers have hit multiple homers in a game since they hit 2 back on opening day against Yarmouth Dennis. Michael Carrico and Brock Rodden both went yard.
And those ones both into right field, right center. Bit of a smaller ballpark over there at Red Wilson Field. But more than enough off the bat from these two today, and Waldschmidt and Galaney.
Banks rolls one inside a third. Long throw, Bazell. And a collision at first. And Snell hangs on. He barreled into Banks, but hauls it in. And the inning is over. 2-0 Kettleers now on a solo home run by Ryan Waldschmidt. You're listening to Cotuit Baseball on the Kettleers Digital Network.
Events that have shaped and changed the game and our country. Our stories to tell, your memories to share. Plan your visit today at baseballhall.org.
Cotuit Kettleers baseball clinics offer instructional baseball clinics for boys and girls ages 6 through 17, geared to their individual needs and skills. All participants have the opportunity to learn fundamental skills as well as good citizenship, sportsmanship, and character from skilled, experienced coaches and top collegiate baseball players. Clinics begin Monday, June 27th and end Friday, July 29th. To sign up, go to info.collegebaseballcamps.com/CK.
Cotuit Baseball lives here on the Kettleers Digital Network.
Cape Cod Coffee is a proud sponsor of the Kettleers. They offer breakfast and lunch, as well as indoor and outdoor dining. Check out Cape Cod Coffee at their 3 locations on Route 130, at Mashpee Commons, at Wareham Commons, or on their website at capecodcoffee.com.
Top of the 4th, moving quickly here at Lowell Park. And it will be Kevin Bazell who made that play to end the inning to face Jake Gigliotti. Yeah, that's one of those plays, Joe. It's really hard to unravel. It was a long throw from third by Bazell, who takes outside, ball 1. And then the first baseman, Snell, played back on the ball behind the base to scoop it. And a big collision ensued.
Just a difficult play there, and we were talking about it at the break, and you said a lot of guys will do that maneuver, but not when a guy is hustling down the line, usually when it's more of a routine play.
Yeah, usually most first basemen do that to get some security to retire the base runner on what would be a ground ball that they wouldn't most likely not beat out. 3-1 is a strike. It's almost like kind of when an outfielder goes down on a knee to secure a base hit. 3-2. And it's stubbed foul by Bazell. Or like when a goalie in soccer goes down on a knee.
Just a tough one to read there for the first baseman, Snell, though.
But Bazell takes ball 4. Hard-fought battle there.
Well, Gigliotti goes down 3-1 in the count. He comes back and delivers a good fastball that hugs the outside part of the plate to Bazell. He takes it. Thought it was ball 4. It's called for a strike, and he tries to go back to that same pitch there. It just sails a little bit wide. So now for the second time in as many innings, he'll be having to deal with the leadoff man reaching base. Of course, the last time that happened was in the second time today.
And it's rolled foul by Walker Yannick, who walked and stole a base his first time up.
By the Kettle Restaurant. Thank them for helping
Our crowd
the
mic was
Kettleers
turned
in
off, so we
2021.
apologize for that. Don't worry, we weren't broadcasting from an elevator.
Need to get all the sights and sounds.
Especially on this Red Shirt Friday. Great crowd on both sides. Of course, Falmouth not too far away, so a good Friday crowd. What would you say the closest ballpark is to Lowell?
As the crow flies, it's either Falmouth or Hyannis, I believe. I think Falmouth could be a little bit closer. Just because it's kind of a more direct shot, I think, down there to go Fuller Field.
2-2. In the air, shallow right. Near the line is Waldschmidt. Waldschmidt homered an inning ago. That's one of 2 home runs in this game, and the long ball so far has really been the difference. That's something that Falmouth hasn't necessarily done too much. just 4 home runs this year. Ross Heifel has half of them. He's not in the lineup today out of Mississippi State. And Gavin Turley will have to wait as Gigliotti throws back to first. And it hit him. So second time Gigliotti has hit a Falmouth batter.
29.
And then runners on first and second for Cade Snell.
Community College.
Just a little bit inside that time to Gavin Turley. Just clips the jersey there. And a pretty good pitch from Gigliotti, just a little bit too far in.
Base hit into left. Putting on the brakes at third is Bazell, and the bases are loaded with 1 down.
Well, this is a big situation, a tough test here for Jake Gigliotti.
Christian Martin, second baseman, Virginia Tech.
But he's not new to high-pressure baseball. He pitched in the CAA tournament for Northeastern, pitched in their regional this year.
Into left, sprinting near the line, Banks has it. Tagging from third, Bazell. Throw is cut off by Harry. And the Cotuit lead has been cut in half, 2-1, as the Commodores get a sac fly from Cade Snell.
Number 11, Tab Tracy, the right fielder, Texas A&M.
Not too much harm done there. They get the second out in the inning. Still ahead by a run. Just got to look to get this final out here, as you'll see the infield shift a little bit more to the right for the left-handed hitting Tab Tracy out of Texas A&M.
Of course, that was Christian Martin that got the sacrifice fly, so my apologies on that. There's a slider back door in there, strike one call.
And Martin picks up his 7th RBI on the year. He's had a good start to his summer campaign.
High fly to right. Waldschmidt is back, and he catches it on the grass. Falmouth gets one across, but they leave him loaded. 2-1 Kettleers as we go to the last of the fourth on the Kettleers Digital Network.
Stay in touch with the Kets on our social media. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram by going to Cotuit Kettleers to keep up to date with scores, pictures, behind-the-scenes content, and more. Follow us today.
When the unexpected happens, make sure you and your assets are insured appropriately. The agents at Leonard Insurance Agency can tailor coverage to meet your needs. Call 508-428-6921 to talk to their licensed agents today.
Missed last night's game? Catch up on everything that happened with daily recaps and sidebar stories from Shane Patagna and Jimmy Middleton by visiting cotuitkettleers.org/blog.
Celebrate the history of our national pastime at the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum in Cooperstown. See priceless treasures that'll bring your baseball memories to life. Connect with events that have shaped and changed the game and our country. Our stories to tell, your memories to share. Plan your visit today at baseballhall.org.
Gear up during the season by going to the Cotuit Kettleers store at Lowell Park, your place for all things Cats merch. Can't make it to the ballpark? You can order the latest apparel and accessories on Kettleers store. Caleb Lomavita leads off the bottom of the fourth inning against Logan Van Treek. And he rainbows one in there for strike one. There's that backdoor curveball from Van Treek. Clips the outside.
Just 71 on the gun.
Lomavita hard hit laser, but it's foul.
Bit more velocity on it that time. Looked like potentially a slider from Van Treek, and Lomavita gets a hold of that one. It was 77.
Loma Vita 5 for 6. Excuse me, 5 for 16. It's 1-2 on him. Van Treek's next offering. High fly ball, left center field. Spikerman is back, and they've done it again. It's a trifecta. This time it's Loma Vita. 3-1 Kettleers.
Must be something in the air today, Tyler. Loma Vita, the third homer for Cotuit in as many innings. That one a bit more deep into left center, and that flag in center field, it's pretty motionless just to the left of the scoreboard. But it's one of the warmest days we've had since we've gotten out to the Cape this summer, and it's playing a big factor so far in this one. The balls are carrying tonight.
And 402 feet there for Loma Vita.
He loves to jump on that off speed from pitchers. We saw it for his first couple of extra base hits this season, a double down the third base line. Just got to stay a little bit more back on it, is what I said when he was yanking those ones foul. And that time he does a perfect job of it. Stays back, lets the ball come to him. He barrels it up, and it goes into deep left center. It was a little bit low and away, but he gets the barrel around to it.
Ryan Galaney swings and misses. He wanted home run number 2 there against Logan Van Treek. He got things started with the homer to lead off the second. And his first at-bat back since that Brewster game a week back. 1-2. So that was 402 feet from Loma Vita. 5th longest home run in the Cape League this season, courtesy of TrackMan and courtesy our great staff here. The 2-2, crunched foul by Galaney. That's now 10 home runs for the Kettleers as an offense this year.
And that time, same pitch that he jumped on and fouled off down the left field line, right around 76, 77. Loma Vita liked that pitch. He just couldn't stay back on it the first time he saw it. He does it perfectly the next time, really took advantage.
And a little nubber back to the screen. Galaney fighting tough here. So is Van Treek. Still looking for this first out of the inning. And Galaney really being a pest for a pitcher, fouling everything he sees off until he gets that one he wants.
It's really good to see him back in the lineup, doing what he does, working these counts up, fighting off pitches, looking for the one he likes.
And it's ball 4. He ended up seeing a pitch that he didn't like, and he'll take it.
Just forces a mistake there, fouls off everything that's in the zone. Van Treek possibly nearing the end of his day. Just a great job by Galaney right there to not go down easy, extend the at-bat, and now they got a base runner here with no gone in the 4th, so a chance to keep this offense going.
He goes, Harry loops it into center, base hit. Galaney digs for 3rd, a hit and run single for Jay Harry.
Almost a simulation from last night's game when Carter Matheson was standing on first base after his walk. Kalai Harrison came up and bolted a single right up the middle. A perfect hit and run play that was, and they do it right here again tonight. Galaney draws the walk. Jay Harry goes after the first pitch low in the zone, just kind of golfs it into center field for a base hit, and now this offense cooking here with a couple on and nobody gone.
Cannon Peoples is down to the count 0-1. 3 runs on 4 hits for Cotuit, but 3 of those 4 hits home runs. The other, that single by Jay Harry, he's on first. Van Treek's pitch. So a little bit of a home run derby here at Lowell Park today. There's not too much wind either. It just shows that hitters are getting all of it.
Here's a good opportunity for Peebles to add some offense in this one. Of course, like you said, he appeared in last night's game as a pinch hitter, ended up bunting one foul with an 0-2 count, and a missed opportunity there. So now a chance to get back in the groove of things offensively for Peebles in this one. But now here he's down 0-2 again.
Muscled into left. That's a base hit. Cannon Peebles drives in the 4th Cotuit run of the game.
And you just go right back to the hit and run conducted by Jay Harry and Ryan Galaney, called by Mike Roberts. That one works out perfectly. It sets up the RBI single for Cannon Peebles, and the Cats now take a 4-1 lead. It'll be interesting to see the leash on Van Treek in this one, as we're going to get an all infielders meeting here. Without the presence of a coach, this meeting being conducted, it looks like, by Van Treek, Walker Yannick, the catcher, and the shortstop DeBarge. Discussing things ahead of facing Emilian Pitre, who struck out in his first AB in a Cotuit uniform. Today, of course, the Cape Cod League Redshirt Friday unis to go along with that sweet camo hat that the players wear in the field as well.
Yeah, honoring the first responders and veterans national program that the Cape League supports. Very cool to see that on every Friday. The home team will wear those unis. Van Treek will deliver. And Pitre is down 0-1. Shows again, but comes up empty.
And he kind of lunged for that one that time. Showed bunt. Probably should have pulled it away. It was a little bit low and outside, but now he's down 0-2, so likely putting the bunt play away.
Pitre ropes it to second. They go to the bag for one. It's dug out, but offline. It pulled DeBarge off the bag on the throw from Christian Martin. And still no outs in the Cotuit half.
It's a tough play for Christian Martin to make there. He moves to his left, fields it, and then has to spin all the way around and throw it to second. And the throw's a little bit off. Probably should have just gone to first to just get the first out in this inning, but now bases loaded with nobody gone and already 2 runs across for the Cats.
Ryan Waldschmidt at the dish. He had a solo home run his last and only time up. The second home run hit today of 3 for Cotuit. Van Treek's 0-1 home. And it hit him. Harry scores. The bases remain juiced. Action intensifies in the Falmouth pen.
Not much he had to do there. Just got to stand in and take it. And Waldschmidt making a big difference early in his Cotuit career. And now they're ahead 5-1. His second run driven in. First one, of course, being on that solo shot, and this next one on a hit by pitch. So probably not the way he expected his Cape League career to start, but a pretty good start at that.
Kalai Harrison to the plate. Will be ruled the fielder's choice. Kalai Harrison looks at a pitch upstairs and in. Braden Davis appears to be the arm warming up in the Commodores bullpen. Left-hander out of Sam Houston State. Looks like time's running out a little bit on Van Treek, who's been really pounding the zone. 43 of his 62 pitches for strikes. And here's 44.
Yeah, and those 3 home runs given up, all against right-handed batters. So the Cotuit bats just taking advantage of that righty-on-lefty matchup.
Tap back to the mound. They go home for one. It's dropped on the transfer by Yannick. But they're going to say that he hung on.
Well, fortunate play that time for Yannick. That one was pretty close between being in the transfer and just kind of muffing the throw. Looks like he maybe squeezed it in the webbing and then loses it there. But of course, a couple already across here in the bottom of the 4th for Cotuit. We'll get a mound visit and a pitching change for Falmouth ahead of the red-hot Brett Bateman, who's still looking to reach base for the first time in this one in his 3rd plate appearance. He'll come on now with the bases still loaded and 1 gone, so still plenty of damage to be done here in this bottom of the 4th inning, but they'll have to adjust and face a new arm out of the Falmouth bullpen. Looks like it's going to be Parker Coyle out of Arkansas.
So we'll get more on him when we come back on the Kettleers Digital Network. That's the day for Logan Van Treek. 3 1/3 innings, 5 runs, 5 hits, 3 strikeouts, and a walk. 5-1 Kettleers. He hits it high and deep to left field. This ball is crushed. New arm for Falmouth, it's Parker Coyle. Activated not too long ago. The Arkansas Razorback, freshman out of Edmond, Oklahoma. Made 15 appearances this year for the Razorbacks, 3 starts, 0-1 with a 6.55 ERA in 22 innings. And this is a tough spot, Joe. A little bit of a pinch. Bases loaded and 1 down.
And we'll see another left-handed arm come into the game for the Commodores. He'll be facing the left-handed hitting Brett Bateman, who entered this game hitting at a .516 clip.
The leadoff hitter for the Kettleers,
And he has been great in these moments. He's driven in 6 RBIs the last time he took an AB with the bases loaded. That was a couple games ago here at Lowell Park. He cleared the bases on a double to right center field. He'll be looking for more of that right here.
And it's up and in. Brett Bateman 0 for 2 today. Looking to extend that hit streak to 11. And he'll do it here. 1 run's in. Here comes another. Throw to the plate is not in time, and it's a 2-run single for Brett Bateman. He plates home the Wildcats, Petre and Waldschmidt, and it's a 7-1 Kettleers lead and a 3-run, now 5-run fourth.
What a piece of hitting that time from Brett Bateman, not trying to put one over the fence. That's what Mike Roberts said a couple days ago on our starting 9. He's just trying to get it through the holes.
Popped up behind home plate. And Yannick hauls it in.
But back to Brett Bateman. Roberts praised him for having a real fluid swing where he doesn't try to pound the ball. Like I said, he just looks for those holes in the infield. And that's exactly what he does there. He just mashes it in between the second and first baseman. It scores 2 easily. And they've really piled it on here in the bottom of the 4th inning.
And those 2 runs on the Bateman single will go to Logan Van Treek. Tough day for him after he's had a really strong stretch. Loma Vida pops 1 foul. Loma Vida homered also his last time up. 402-foot shot courtesy of Trackman. And he pulls it hard on the ground, and it eats up Bazell. It trickles into left. That's going to score Harrison. Loma Vida hung up between first and second. Throw kicks away from second. Loma Vida stays there. It's an 8-1 Kettleers lead.
Well, we just talked about how Loma Vida loves to pull that ball through the left side, and he gets a hold of this one and rips it right at Bazell, a ball that is almost impossible for him to keep in front of him. It one-hops him. He goes down to a knee to try to field it like a goalie, but it kicks off that wrist, goes into center field. Harrison scores easily, and the Kets now up 8-1. They just keep on coming.
And just a tricky hop there for Bazell. Loma Vida goes. There's a strike to Galaney. Walked his last time up. Loma Vida's got a stolen base. He had over 20 this year at Cal. And now on to Ryan Galaney at the plate. He's down to the count 0-1. He's 1 for 1 with a homer and a walk. We'll see how Coyle pitches him here. Galaney's second at bat. Van Treek was pitching really cautiously to Galaney. A lot of outside backdoor sliders. Hit high in the air, but foul, slicing out of play.
Courtesy of Cotuit Liquors, they're yours to keep.
When he makes contact, it can go a long way. 34 homers in his last 2 seasons at Wofford, 1 today.
Very selective up there. Real tough guy to pitch to, especially here if you're Parker Coyle. Don't want to let anything too high up over the plate. You saw what he can do to that back in the 2nd inning.
Off the outside, and Yannick thought he had strike 3.
And Galaney head down, still standing there right there in the box. He knew that one was a little bit outside. Man, he's got great plate vision, and he works up yet another full count. He jumped all over the first pitch he saw from Van Treek in the 2nd inning, but in his last 2 at-bats, this one included, he's worked him all the way up to full.
The full count delivery to Galaney. And it slapped foul off the leg guard of Yannick. He's taken a couple caroms behind the plate. He's played a really tough backstop today.
It looks like he caught that one just above where that knee guard cuts off, so about mid-thigh. Tough one to take right there. Just goes right off the bat of Galaney. It's right on top of that thigh there. That'll make a big bruise tomorrow morning. But he's got to stay in there and now face this 3-2. Galaney worked up another great AB here.
He swings and misses at strike 3. The Kettleers break it open with 6 in the 4th. And before this break, we'll have Lily Butler, and she'll have a special interview with today's hero of the day. Lily, what do you have for us?
Joined alongside here with Glenn Ware, the Mass State Lottery hero of the game, a hero to many, and I can attest to that as Glenn has opened up his home to me and many other interns as a host family. Glenn, what does it mean to you tonight to get this award?
Oh, it's always nice to see teachers recognized because I feel like they're all heroes.
Yeah, absolutely. I can agree with you on that. And then is there a hero in your life maybe who's inspired you to be the way that you are?
I'll embarrass her, but my daughter, who was had a lot of adversity when she was first born, and she's overcome quite a bit to become a intern out here tonight.
Yes, I can also agree with that. And then I have one more question for you. There is a right or wrong answer to this question. Who is your favorite host child?
I love all of my host sons and daughters equally, whether they're pitching or interviewing.
That is not a valid answer. Thank you so much, Glenn. Back to you guys.
So that's the great Glenn Ware with the wrong answer, according to Lily Butler. But Glenn is the best, and congratulations to him. Very thankful for all he does for us and for the Kettleers organization. So a cool way to recognize one of the mainstays here on the Village.
Hosted plenty of great baseball players, plenty of interns throughout his time here in Cotuit. Of course, winning that award today, he does a great job as a teacher, a real strong figure in this Cotuit community. And of course, like he was saying, hosting Lily Butler and also hosting the guy on the mound who has been great through his first 4 in Jake Gigliotti.
Lofted to left. That sends Bank twisting back. And he makes the catch. T.O. Banks fighting the shadows. Pulls it down.
Well, you can tell that the ball's carrying a little bit more so today from the way Banks played that fly ball, I should say. He comes in a little bit, but then he takes it back. Has to go airborne slightly to make that grab. Just a slight change in weather. Looks like we got some good weather coming our way throughout this next week, and hopefully we're kind of over the hump of games getting rained out early in the year here. We saw one get rained out in last night's game. A couple games end short as well.
Harwich and Chatham yesterday as that one sails upstairs to John Spikerman. Travis Bizana was retired on that fly out to Banks. Chatham will host Falmouth tomorrow. And Spikerman pops one to left. Banks shuffling. And there's 2 gone. The Kettleers will travel to Spillane Field to take on the Wareham Gatemen. That'll be a rematch of that 3-2 come from behind win for the Cats just in game 2 of the season, the home opener. Kyle DeBarge looks at a fastball for strike 1. We're starting to see Kettleers starters go a little bit more into games. Back-to-back 5-inning outings for Jansen Kiesel and Chris Kaler, and now Jake Gigliotti looking to do the same. He's one strike away from completing that feat. That's the longest a Kettleers pitcher has gone. 0-2. Line drive, base hit, left field. So DeBarge gets the third Commodores hit of the game. His second. It's been a good day at the plate for Kyle DeBarge.
Really has, and that time just stays back on pitch from Gigliotti, drives it through the left side of the infield. Gigliotti was looking for that finishing pitch to pick up the second K on his second outing of the year. But that'll have to wait.
Went 3 innings in that 6-1, that win over Orleans. Here's a roller to short, across the diamond for Harrison. And he rifles out Kevin Bazell out of Texas Tech. 8-1 Kettleers. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Joe Pratt will have the play-by-play next on the Cats Digital Network. .org.
Cape Cod Coffee is a proud sponsor of the Kettleers. They offer breakfast and lunch as well as indoor and outdoor dining. Check out Cape Cod Coffee at their 3 locations on Route 130, at Mashpee Commons, at Wareham Commons, or on their website at capecodcoffee.com.
Cotuit Baseball lives here on the Kettleers Digital Network.
Stay in touch with the Kets on our social media. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram by going to Cotuit Kettleers to keep up to date with scores, pictures, behind-the-scenes content, and more. Follow us today.
You're listening to Kettleers Baseball on the Kettleers Radio Network. Tune into all of our road broadcasts by downloading the Mixlr app and by searching up Cotuit Kettleers.
Cotuit Baseball lives here on the Kettleers Digital Network.
Cape Cod Coffee is a proud sponsor of the Kettleers. They offer breakfast and lunch as well as indoor and outdoor dining. Check out Cape Cod Coffee at their 3 locations on Route 130, at Mashpee Commons, at Wareham Commons, or on their website at capecodcoffee.com.
This year, the Cape Cod Baseball League celebrates its 100th anniversary. For over a century, baseball has been a staple on Cape Cod, producing over 1,600 Major League Baseball players. To learn more,
Bottom 5 from Lowell Park. Cotuit ahead 8-1 after a big 4th inning there. They brought home 6 runs, and they brought everybody in the lineup to the plate as Jay Harry looks at a called strike 1 here, 79 from Parker Coyle, who relieved Logan Van Treek after he recorded 1 out in that 4th frame. And Harry is 1 for 2 on the day. He recorded a single, and he scored a run in the 4th inning, grounded out in the 2nd. This one bounces in there, blocked by Yannick. Count 2-1 here to Jay Harry, who has been a force in this lineup for Cotuit so far this year, especially with runners on. And he sends this one into center field on a line. That'll take center fielder Spikerman over. He overruns it. It's behind him. Harry rounds first. He's on his way to second. He's in there standing up for a leadoff double to kick things off here in the bottom of the 5th.
Just a smooth, easy swing there for Harry. His league-leading 5th double of the year. That one just went right underneath the glove of Spikerman, who almost flagged it down and cut it off with that speed. He was playing already to the left of straightaway center. So Harry with the perfect placement.
Infield playing the bunt here. Peebles turns away from it that time. As you can see, the corners slightly creeping in. The middle infielders, DeBarge and Martin, playing a little bit further up than normal. It looked like they'll take a couple steps back now. And Peebles watches that big looping 72 on the gun from Coyle that time. It's 1-1. Harry takes his lead at second, 1-1 home. Peebles takes strike 2. That one a little bit up closer to the letters. And at 79 from Coyle. He's behind 1-2. And he also has a single in this one, but was cut down on a ground ball on the infield. They got the force out at home. He lines this one into left field for a base hit. Harry holds up at third. He slides in foul territory and dives back on the bag, but the runners will be on the corners here after Peebles knocks his second straight single.
Yeah, Mike Roberts must have seen something that he didn't like. Might have seen a throw incoming from Gavin Turley, who played it quickly on a bounce, and Harry got the sign and slammed on the brakes right as he got near the bag, and right after he rounded it, that's where he started to fall.
Runners on the corners for Petre. Dribbles this one to the right side. Diving is Snell. He gets the easy out at first, but Harry comes in to score from third. Cotuit extends their lead to 8. An RBI ground out for Emilian Petre.
21, Ryan Waldschmidt, right fielder, Kentucky.
And that'll bring up his teammate in Ryan Waldschmidt, but Petre making a difference here in this one. He scored a run in the last inning, and now he drives one home on a ground out here in the 5th. It'll bring up Ryan Waldschmidt, lined into right center field. That one's going to get down for a hit. On second base is Peebles. He moves up to third. And Waldschmidt with a big round around first. The runners will be on the corners again now for Kalai Harrison.
I mean, that ball was whacked there by Waldschmidt. It just kept tailing out towards right center field, and I don't think Peebles realized that it was really falling away there from the center fielder Spikerman, so he got a little bit of a delayed jump on it and then sped his way to third. A great piece of hitting there by Waldschmidt.
And now Kalai Harrison takes ball 1 low and away. He reached on a fielder's choice in the 4th inning. The ground ball on the infield that cut down Peebles at home. He tips this one into the glove of Yannick at 78. It's 1-1 now to Kalai Harrison, but he scored a run the last of that 4th inning. He was the 8th run to come around for Cotuit today. He swings through that one right there in a good location from Parker Coyle. He's ahead 1-2.
Yeah, great slider off the outside there. Just kind of wipes away from the hitter Harrison.
Lefty spins and fires. He gets a piece of it here. Right through the legs of Yannick for a foul ball. Kind of had to go down and get that one. The infielders will be looking for the double play here as Coyle is set. Delivery home, slap to the left side. That one will get down past the diving Bazell. It's going to bring home Cannon Peebles from third. And the Kets into double digits now. They're ahead 10-1.
Well, Kalai Harrison just throws his bat out and lobs it perfectly inside third. I mean, there is maybe about 3 to 4 inches, Joe, between the glove of Bazell and the left field chalk. And somehow Harrison found a way there to thread the needle. Pretty much his last 3 or 4 pieces of contact, partner, were made off the end of his bat. And they were on pitches that were low and on the outside third. So he just reaches out, and taps in a run.
We saw him do that in last night's game, where he just kind of got a piece of that one and lofted it up the middle on that hit and run. And then again in the 9th inning, he knocked a base hit, part of a 4-run top of the 9th inning for Cotuit to take a 6-0 lead over Hyannis there, a game that they would eventually fall in. First extra inning game for the Kettleers. And now a big lopsided affair so far in this one. We're only in the bottom of the 5th. And Cotuit brought plenty of guys to the plate, a lot in these last couple innings. But it was all started by the long ball by Ryan Galaney in the 2nd. Waldschmidt tacked one on there in the 3rd. Loma Vita got things started there in the 4th with a solo shot. As that one's up and in that time to Brett Bateman, who drove in a pair last inning and extended that long hitting streak. The 1-0 home. Just out of the reach that time, and it's 1-1. But Bateman 16 for 31 entering this game, hitting .516. And he just drove in his 7th and 8th runs his last time up as he lofts this one into left field. Ranging to his left there is Turley. He makes the catch. The runners will go back to where they're at, and there's 2 gone in the home half of the 5th.
And those have been the types of contact that Bateman's gotten hits from. It's either those slow fly balls into shallow outfield gaps, or as Mike Roberts would say, doubles machines that he used to describe Brett Bateman a couple days ago, or those ground balls through the right or left sides of the infield.
Banks gets a hold of this one, puts it through the right side of the infield. That'll score 1. From second coming home to score is Waldschmidt, and it's a 10-run lead for the Kettleers in the bottom of the 5th inning. This time Banks drives home 1.
Cotuit just firing on all cylinders here. They're just finding holes on the infield and outfield. They're just spraying it everywhere. And T.O. Banks gets one in around the belt. And the inside and out sits into right.
Loma Vita in off the hands, dribbles this one to the left side. Bazell fires on to first for the 3rd out of the bottom of the 5th. The Kettleers continue to pile on the runs here in the 5th inning. They take an 11-1 advantage in this one. Commodores coming up to bat after this on the Kettleers Digital Network.
More about the Cape League Centennial Celebration, go to capecodbaseball.org today.
When the unexpected happens, make sure you and your assets are insured appropriately. The agents at Leonard Insurance Agency can tailor coverage to meet your needs. Call 508-428-6921 to talk to their licensed agents today.
Stay in touch with the Kets on our social media. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram by going to Cotuit Kettleers to keep up to date with scores, pictures, behind-the-scenes content, and more. Follow us today.
Hi, this is Ryan Galaney, the corner infielder for the Cotuit Kettleers, and you're listening to the Kettleers Digital Network.
There's a weekend in July where the baseball world revolves around a village in upstate New York. Baseball Hall of Fame induction weekend in Cooperstown is an unforgettable experience filled with family-friendly activities and priceless moments. Make your plans today for July 21st through the 24th for the induction of Fred McGriff and Scott Rowland as the class of 2023. Visit baseballhall.org today for the entire schedule. See you in Cooperstown, where the journey becomes legend.
Cape Cod Coffee is a proud sponsor of the Kettleers. They offer breakfast and lunch, as well as indoor and outdoor dining. Check out Cape Cod Coffee at their 3 locations on Route 130, at Mashpee Commons, at Wareham Commons, or on their website at Cape Cod Coffee.
26, Walker Yannick, Sam Houston State, Yannick, 26.
Jake Gigliotti back out there for the 6th inning. He's gone 5 strong, giving up 1 run on 3 hits. And his first pitch
Takes a big swing out of Walker Yannick, who's 0 for 1 on the day. He walked in the second, stole a bag. But he's been one of 6 base runners, that is, for Falmouth on the day. He takes ball 1 upstairs. One home. In off the hands, Yannick fouls it off. And Gigliotti just looked really solid so far in this one, and he's had the offensive production on the back end to really make things pretty comfortable for him out there.
It always, guys, to fire you up as a starting pitcher when you have run support. Just gives you more incentive to go out there and really shove.
That one's sent foul again by Yannick. Out of Sam Houston State, just north of Houston, Texas. Team that was a part of that Southeast Conference, and he takes a strike 1. That one a little bit up above the letters. That one's strike 3. And it's the first looking K of the day for Jake Gigliotti. He picked up 3 of those in his last appearance. That's the first one we've seen today. That time a little bit upper in the zone to a right-handed batter. It'll bring up Gavin Turley.
They just froze Yannick. That's now the longest start for the Kettleers this year at 5 1/3.
Throws that one just outside to Turley, who's making his first appearance in 2023. He backs off the plate there. Looks like it hit him.
That's the second time I think there's been a hit batter in this game that got hit on a ball that hit the jersey. And there it looked like maybe it got a piece of that black top when Turley moved back on it.
And that's the second one for Turley in 2 straight at-bats. And the first one just grazed the jersey. He really steps up, hugging the chalk just to the left of home plate. And you saw Mike Roberts have a couple words with the home plate umpire, but of course that call won't be reversed, no video review.
But we could hear it, at least from our vantage point. It definitely looked like it got some contact.
And this one drilled into left over the head of Jay Harry. Banks to field it there over by the line. And there are 2 men on with 1 out in the top of the 6th here for Falmouth. Excuse me. And Mike Roberts now on to make a pitching change. So that'll be the day for Jake Gigliotti. But like you said, Tyler, he goes 5 1/3, the longest by a Kettleers starter so far this season. He gives up just the 1 run back in the 4th inning off of a sacrifice fly. He gives up 4 hits, strikes out a pair. He did hit a couple batters, but only walked 1.
He looked really good. He established his rhythm, had things really working early, and he just did not look back. Whether it was 1-0, 2-0, 3-1, he got the job done.
And so now he accepts an ovation from this Cotuit faithful crowd. They have been strong tonight in cheering on their guys in a game that they have blown open back there in the 4th and 5th inning. But it all started with a great start from Jake Gigliotti, and he's in line for the win in this one. And one thing about Gigliotti, he has not lost a game at Northeastern. And he is 20-5 overall across collegiate summer leagues and college.
I believe 12-0 at Northeastern, was 8-0 this year.
So just things really seemed to click for Glavin's Huskies when Gigliotti was on the mound this year. But now that'll turn things over to Tanner Thatch two-way player out of UNCW. We've seen him with the bat in his hands plenty of times this year and playing at first, but now we get to take a look at him on the rubber.
He made 2 appearances this year at UNC Wilmington as a pitcher. Kettleers fans probably know plenty about what he can do offensively. But in those 2 appearances, April 11th against NC State, April 25th against North Carolina, no runs, 2 hits, 4 strikeouts, 1 walk in 2 innings. So this could be the longest outing of the year for Tanner Thatch, depending on how long Mike Roberts wants him to go.
And so it'll be the 3rd position player to come in and pitch in a game for Mike Roberts' Kettleers. The first being Cole Mathis out of the College of Charleston. Keaton Anthony also made an appearance out of the bullpen for the Kettleers, and now Tanner Thatch. And so he comes in a situation with runners on first and second and 1 out here for Christian Martin, who drove in the only run for the Commodores today back in the 4th inning off that sacrifice fly. That brought home Kevin Bazell. And the first pitch from Tanner Thatch is 73 on the gun for a strike, 0-1. Lefty on lefty matchup here. Breaking ball swung on and missed at from Martin that time. A nice pitch from Tanner Thatch there. He just elevates that curve. Gets a nice swing and miss. He's ahead 0-2 here. 1 gone. That one just outside.
It almost kind of looks like he's falling away a little bit, which is really great for pounding that outside part of the zone.
The 1-2, he lets it fly. And that one flies a little bit too high. It takes Loma Vida way up out of his crouch. Nice reaction time by the Cal Bear to prevent that one from going to the backstop. Runners will have to stay where they're at for this 2-2. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Tanner Thatch in his first appearance out of the bullpen picks up a swinging strikeout off of Christian Martin, and there's 2 gone here in the top of the 6th.
Slider outside, big cut. And Thatch gets his first K of the summer. Looking at his numbers, was really good at Perquimans County High School. 24-3 in his high school career with 327 strikeouts.
He can really pile on those Ks. He's got a great off speed. Saw him with an 88-mile-an-hour fastball right there. Just got to get on top of it, as the only pitches that he's really been able to throw for strikes against these first 2 batters here have been with that breaking ball down in the low 70s. As the 2-0 home, that's a fastball. He gets on top of it. That time it's 2-1. Against Tab Tracy, who is 0 for 2 on the day. Ground out to first in the 3rd, a fly out to end the 4th inning. The 2-1 lined into right field. That'll take a couple hops in front of Waldschmidt, who's up and gunning. He fires this one home. Cut off by Galani. The throw, the tag. He's out. What a relay that time between Waldschmidt, Galani, and Loma Vida. They cut him down. And the Kettleers maintain this 11-1 lead, headed in to the bottom of the 6th inning. But before then, we're going to check in really quickly with our sideline reporter, Lily Butler. She's field level. What do you got for us, Lily?
Sporting their red jerseys at Lowell Park. Now, those unique red jerseys are in support of Red Shirt Fridays, a Cape League tradition where the home team every Friday wears those red jerseys with the camo hats in support of military and first responders. Now, tonight is also Teacher Appreciation Night here at Lowell Park, so on behalf of all Kettleers, interns, coaches, players, and fans. We'd like to thank teachers, first responders, and military. From Lowell Park for the Kettleers Digital Network, I'm Lily Butler. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Lily. Of course, always great to see these teams mix it up a little bit with the jerseys. Of course, Cotuit got those nice home white pinstripes and then the maroon tops to go along with the pinstripe pants on the road. But now, for the first time this year, we get to have a look at them in these Red Shirt Friday Cape Cod League jerseys.
Yeah, and it's a great look. We saw Orleans wear them last Friday at Eldridge Park. It's very bright red, too, and the best thing about them, I think, in my opinion, is the camouflage lettering. That's really cool look. It matches those caps, which I know you're a big fan of.
They've grown on me a little bit. Of the brighter camo and the Cape Cod plated logo right there on the front of it. And of course, you and I in our red Kettleers polos and Lily following suit in that theme as well for the Red Shirt Friday, and it'll bring up Ryan Gigliotti, who has had a pretty good go of it in his Red Shirt Friday. Started things off with that home run in the second. And he digs in now to face Parker Coyle, who delivers a fastball outside for ball one. Gigliotti, 1 for 2 on the day. A walk back there in the fourth. He did score a run, and of course that solo homer as he takes strike one down around the knees. 88 again that time with the fastball from Coyle. And a pitch that was a little bit middle in. He taps that one foul off his leg. And he knocked it into left field, more than enough to cover the 320-foot fence out there. Just over 360 feet. On a much similar pitch that Waldschmidt hit out in the high 80s. And that one was also middle in into deep left as he takes ball two upstairs, 2-2. Really seems like a pitch that Gigliotti likes, maybe a little bit lower in the zone, a little bit inside, something he can really turn on and use that torque as he tops this one over to third. With the bare hand is Bazell. He can't field it cleanly. And Gigliotti on to first with an infield single.
I think that time he just kind of throws the hands out there a little bit. We've seen Gigliotti spoil pitches, meaning he'll just foul off two-strike pitches that he might think is in the zone, and perhaps that might have been what he tried to do there. But just slightly taps it up the third baseline. That's a really tough play for Bazell.
Gigliotti will be taken back to the bag, and yeah, truly a tough play from Bazell. Kind of a swinging bunt that time from Gigliotti. He has no choice but to try to scoop it up with that bare hand. But a really difficult play to make. That's why it'll go down as the 13th hit of the day for the Kettleers here in the 6th inning. They lead things 11-1. Falmouth just 4 hits on their side. And Coyle over to first again to check on Gigliotti there.
Could do it already with a season high 13 hits.
Much similarly to the Orleans game last night, as this one on the ground sharply to the left side and through into center field for a base hit. And so Barge can't get the glove to that one. It kicks right over it, and there's 2 on here in the 6th inning. More of the same that this Cotuit offense has done in these last 3 innings. They got 2 on with nobody out.
Looked like that one just kind of might have hit a rough patch on the dirt, and DeBarge was making his way over to his left to try and get in front of it. But right as he turned to square up on it, that's when the ball kicked past him and into center.
Bounces up there, the first pitch to Cannon Peebles. There's a ball one at 71 miles an hour. The infield will shift way to the left here. Switch hitting Cannon Peebles, batting from the right side. Christian Martin will hold Gigliotti back there on second, so a massive hole on the right side of this infield. And this one lined right to short. He gloves it this time, drops it for a second, tosses to second for one. On to first, they'll say he's safe there. And so Peebles beats out what would have completed the double play. He reaches on a fielder's choice. Ryan Gigliotti over to third. And there's one gone now here in the bottom of the 6th inning for Emilian Pitre.
Joe, how about the reaction there by the shortstop, DeBarge? He bobbled it. And all in one motion, he regathers and flips to second for one to at least get one out.
He's still able to manage to get that force out there at second, as he could have just picked it up and fired it over to first, but instead he finds enough time to regather himself and pitch it over to his second baseman. And they almost got Peebles over at first as well.
Yeah, that was a bang-bang play at first base, too, so that's a tough call to make for Anthony Letizio.
Next pitch to Pitre, he spoils foul just above the Cotuit dugout. Count 1-2 to him. He's gone 0 for 3, but he drove in a run on a grounder to the right side his last time up, and he swings through that 89-mile-an-hour fastball there, and he goes down on strikes for the second time today.
21 from Kentucky, Ryan Waldschmidt, the right fielder. Waldschmidt, 21.
Ryan Waldschmidt now. He's reached base or hit a home run in all 3 of his at-bats today, and also scored a run in each of those. He takes ball 1 up and away. It's just a great start to his summer for the Kentucky product. As he takes that one belt high for strike 1. Good to see another Kentucky guy in the building. Of course, Ryan Ritter with the Kettleers in the 2021 and 2022 seasons. He was drafted. As this 1-1 is buried in the dirt, 2-1.
It's a good pipeline. Good program, Kentucky. And it was cool on that Brett Bateman single. A few innings back. Pitre and Waldschmidt came around right on their heels to score.
2-1, grounded up the middle. A tough play to make for the second baseman, Martin. He fires over to first. It gets away from the first baseman, Snell. Galaney came home to score from third. The score will be 12-1 Cotuit, as Peebles is on over to third. Just a really tough play to make there for the middle infielder, Martin, going back over behind the bag and then firing across the diamond.
Number 7, Kalai Harrison, the shortstop, NC State.
Yeah, that's a really tough play. That's about 10 feet to the left of second for Martin to make that play. And it almost got there in time, too.
Just a little bit off the mark up that first base line. And Kalai Harrison on for his 4th plate appearance, and he swings at that sliding stuff from Coyle there. He's behind 0-2. Harrison, an RBI single his last time up, and he takes strike 3 there from Parker Coyle. But the Kettleers bring home another here in the bottom of the 6th inning. And they still lead 12-1 on the Kettleers digital network. Coffee.com.
Gear up during the season by going to the Cotuit Kettleers store at Lowell Park, your place for all things Ketts merch. Can't make it to the ballpark? You can order the latest apparel and accessories on kettlierstore.org.
Missed last night's game? Catch up on everything that happened with daily recaps and sidebar stories from Shane Patagna and Jimmy Middleton by visiting cotuitkettleers.org/blog.
Stay in touch with the Ketts on our social media. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram by going to Cotuit Kettleers to keep up to date with scores, pictures, behind-the-scenes content, and more. Follow us today.
Cotuit Kettleers baseball clinics offer instructional baseball clinics for boys and girls ages 6 through 17, geared to their individual needs and skills. All participants have the opportunity to learn fundamental skills as well as good citizenship, sportsmanship, and character from skilled, experienced coaches and top collegiate baseball players. Clinics begin Monday, June 27th and end Friday, July 29th. To sign up, go to info.collegebaseballcamps.com/CK.
You're listening to Kettleers Baseball on the Kettleers Radio Network. Tune into all of our road broadcasts by downloading the Mixlr app and by searching up Cotuit Kettleers.
Cotuit Baseball lives here on the Kettleers Digital Network.
Top of the 7th inning from Lowell Park, Joe Pratt, along with Tyler Danberg. Liam Barrett is here along with Abigail Lott working the cameras. And Lily Butler, we'll check in with her in a few moments as well. First pitch in there for strike one from Tanner Thatch, who came out of the bullpen with a couple runners on and one gone back there in the top of the 6th inning. And he was able to escape that jam with a strikeout and then a bullet from right field from Ryan Waldschmidt that was cut off by Galaney. They completed the out at home. Loma Vida applied the tag there to get Gavin Turley trying to score from second. As the payoff pitch from Thatch low and away in the dirt, it's 1-2.
And that was just a gorgeous relay, and had it might not have been for the cutoff man, who knows if the ball would have gotten home in time. Of course, you never know with the grass. Might take 2 hops before it gets to the catcher.
And Galaney with a pretty good transfer right there in the infield grass. In perfect position to field it, exactly what a coach is looking for there as he receives the ball with the left glove and quickly transfers it, fires it home as the 2-2 is just upstairs. So the leadoff man, Travis Bazana, count full. Bazana 0 for 2 with a hit by pitch. And the 3-2 home. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Thatch picks up his second K. And he goes to the nasty stuff there, 73 miles an hour inside. He swings right over it for strike 3.
Big curve there from Thatch. Almost looks like it's biting into a left-handed hitter like Bazana. And then it just breaks at the last moment. It's a really tough pitch for a hitter.
First pitch to John Spikerman is outside. Spikerman also 0 for 3. They really shut down the top 2 guys in this order. Of course, Bazana making his Cape League debut in 2023 today. Spikerman entered this one hitting 3 for 15. He's drawn 4 walks in this campaign, a switch hitter. Batting from the right side against the left-handed tossing Tanner Thatch, who has sent him to 3-0 as that one misses down around the ankles. Spikerman put a good run on some balls out there in center field. He's flagged a couple down. He takes strike 1 right over the heart of the plate there.
He's got a great first step, does Spikerman. He almost tracked down a double by Jay Harry that got past him because he almost got all of it.
3-1, lined, 1 hop to Kalai Harrison. He fields it cleanly there. Throw on to first in time to get Spikerman. Harrison just making it look easy over there at short.
That's a really tricky hop because it's a liner off the infield dirt. So as a fielder, you never know whether you're going to come in, charge it a little bit, then you short hop it, or then you field it on a bounce. And that one's one of those borderline ones where he had to field it about belt high, then throw it to first.
First pitch in there for a strike on the fastball from Thatch to Kyle DeBarge. And we've seen that infield react really differently to plenty of ground balls today. So that just makes it that much more difficult for Harrison to read that one. And he gets on top of this one, does DeBarge. Dribble to the left side, Harry fires. And there's 3 gone in the top of the 7th. 3 up, 3 down for Tanner Thatch. And the Kettleers hold a 12-1 lead here in the 7th inning stretch at Lowell Park.
hits it high and deep to left field. This ball is crushed. I was born like this, is born like this. Immaculate conception, I transform like this, perform like this. What shouts you a new weapon? I know I meditate, then off your plate. This that put the kiss to bed. This that I got.
You're listening to Kettleers Baseball on the Kettleers Radio Network. Tune into all of our road broadcasts by downloading the Mixlr app and by searching up Cotuit Kettleers.
Stay in touch with the Kets on our social media. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram by going to Cotuit Kettleers to keep up to date with scores, pictures, behind-the-scenes content, and more. Follow us today.
When the unexpected happens, make sure you and your assets are insured appropriately. The agents at Leonard Insurance Agency can tailor coverage to meet your needs. Call 508-428-6921 to talk to their licensed agents today.
This year, the Cape Cod Baseball League celebrates its 100th anniversary. For over a century, baseball has been a staple on Cape Cod, producing over 1,600 Major League Baseball players. To learn more about the Cape League Centennial Celebration, go to capecodbaseball.org today.
Gear up during the season by going to the Cotuit Kettleers store at Lowell Park, your place for all things Cats merch. Can't make it to the ballpark? You can order the latest apparel and accessories on kettleersstore.org.
Miss
Top of the order coming up here in the bottom of the 7th inning for the Kettleers. They'll be facing a new arm in the game. The third man they'll face, the first righty, in Sam Highfill out of NC State. Just finished up his junior year with the Wolfpack. And he'll face Brett Bateman, T.O. Banks, and Caleb Lomavita, pending any changes or shuffling up of the lineup for Mike Roberts as they hold a 12-1 lead here. And Highfill kicks and deals, lined into right field, through the right side of the infield for a base hit. Brock Rodden does it again. His second single of the day.
Maybe he just continues to really swing it. Goes up to get it, elevates the bat, gets some lumber on it, and knocks it through. I mean, that's just stuff that is really hard to teach. He just has such a great knack for getting on base and getting hits.
He really does, and he's grabbed a couple stolen bases on the year as well. He's 5 for 6 in stealing bags. We'll see how aggressive they want to take the rest of this one as the infield creeps in a little bit here. It looks like to face T.O. Banks as DeBarge at short, playing about 5 feet up than usual. Bit of an interesting look for this Falmouth infield as Banks fouls that one off 0-2.
Great bat boy speed there. Great closeout speed.
Really continuing it into tonight. Solid performance last night in Hyannis as Banks swings through that one there. And he strikes out after ripping a single through the right side in his last at-bat.
You know what they say about that, Joe? Consistent. That's what the bat boys are.
They control the game out there.
They're the pacemakers.
Because without the baseballs, which are hidden over in their little bat boy circle, you can't play the game. You'll see the bat boys delivering the balls to the umpires in between innings and in between batters. As Lomavita on for his 5th plate appearance in this one. 5th plate appearances are being held here in the 7th inning for Cotuit. They brought a lot of guys up to the dish. As Lomavita takes low below the knees, 3-0 now. Bateman takes a short lead over at first. We'll see if Lomavita has the green light here.
He does, flies it into center field. Spikerman charging in, he makes the play there. And a nice play on the run that time from Spikerman. He retires Loma Vita.
Spikerman just had to keep on coming in. Looked like that pop-up from Loma Vita just kept kind of pushing in towards the infield, and Spikerman slowly trotting in, then picks up his speed, then really accelerates at the last moment.
Took a good route to that ball. And Galaney swings through that 92-mile-an-hour fastball from Sam Highfill for strike one. Highfill, 22 appearances this year, 6 starts for the Wolfpack. Held a 6-4 record for them. The 0-2. Hit hard to the left side, fielded by Mike Roberts. Well, he knocks it down at the very least.
He kept it in front.
A tough one to field for Roberts there, though. Off a couple hops, had to play that bounce. And he got some words from the Cotuit dugout as well. Some cheers, some words of encouragement, hopefully. As Galaney takes upstairs, it's 1-2.
It would have been a lot worse, though, if it got by him, so could have been a lot worse.
1-2 to Galaney. Ball too low. Across 54 innings this year. 29 earned for Highfill. 38 total. That's 9 unearned runs that he was in front of his diamond for. As the 2-2 home, this one hit up the middle, fielded nicely that time by DeBarge. They get the easy out at second to end the bottom of the 7th inning. The Cotuit still holding on to this 12-1 lead. And the Falmouth Bats will be coming up to face Tanner Thatch when we come back. But before then, we're going to check in really quick for the last time with our sideline reporter in Lily Butler. Lily.
Some great news coming in this morning. Former 2018 and 2019 Kettleer Nick Gonzalez called up to the Pittsburgh Pirates today. Now, Nick was a member of the 2019 championship team, but also league MVP that year. I know that Coach Roberts and Nick Gonzalez have a pretty close relationship, so we'll find out more about how he's feeling about this in the post game from me after the last inning of this game. Back to you guys.
That's right, and be sure to stick around post game to catch Lily Butler's live interview with head coach Mike Roberts after this onslaught of the Commodores that the Kettleers have put together today. But it's going to be Tanner Thatch back out there, another position player getting some time on the mound, and he's been great.
He really has, especially letting the defense do a little bit of the work. You talked about that relay that Bateman, Galaney, and Loma Vita turned. But after that, Thatch really settled in. That last half inning, really found his groove. Set down the Falmouth side in order. So a good recovery there.
First pitch to Kevin Bazell is way wide to the Texas Tech Red Raider, who is 0 for 2 in this one. A walk in the 4th. He came around to score. And that is the 1 represented on the Falmouth side of the Cotuit scoreboard. 1 run on 4 hits. They've made a couple mistakes in the field, 2 errors. Cotuit with 12 runs of their own and 16 hits. So they have quadrupled the amount of hits that Falmouth has had in this one.
And the Commodores, pretty good offense. 3rd in the league at average, but have had some struggles today.
Bazell puts this one on the ground sharply there to Harrison. He bounces that one into the glove of Galaney to complete the 6-3 putout.
Strong hands there by Galaney over at first. That was a low throw from Harrison, but Galaney dug it out, and it looked like that throw might have caught a little bit of the cut of the grass. So that's a really tough play. And again, the Commodores putting good bat on the ball here. They've only struck out 4 times.
Just got to credit a great Cotuit defense, really done their job behind their pitchers in Gigliotti and Thatch. It'll bring up Walker Yannick, one of 4, like you said, Commodores to strike out in this one. The only looking K, he gets a hold of this one, puts it into left field, but out of play, foul. Count 2-1 to Yannick. Only looking K on the day, for Jake Gigliotti, who finished up after he went 5 1/3. Gave up just 1 run on 4 hits, 2 strikeouts, and a couple walks, as this one nudged foul by Yannick. Count 2-2. Thatch leans in, he grabs the sign he likes, comes set, the 2-2 home, and it bounces up there, count full.
Thatch, again, another two-way player. There have been a handful of two-way guys on the Kettleers roster at one point so far this season. Jackson Emus was one out of Princeton. Keaton Anthony was one out of Iowa. Cole Mathis has been making an impact with his arm and his bat so far for the Kettleers. So Thatch looking to do the same.
And this one uncorked to the left side, but just foul as Harry makes the call along with the third base umpire. That one just a little bit wide of the line over there. But Yannick jumped all over it that time from Thatch. Harry with no hesitation there, though, to prove that that one was indeed foul. They'll do it again at 3-2. Tanner Thatch leans in, gets the sign from Loma. He comes set. And the payoff pitch. Jam shot right back up the middle. Backhanded that time from Pitre. Throws on to first. And there's 2 gone.
That's slick fielding there by Pitre. I mean, that was a backspin topper right behind the bag. And Pitre just kind of launches it into the glove and then throws off his back foot, too. And it was right on line to Galaney.
And we'll get a mound visit here from Mike Roberts along with the rest of the Cotuit infield. Just waiting on a motion, and looks like there will be a pitching change here at Lowell Park. So that'll be the end of the day for Tanner Thatch, who goes 2 1/3. Picked up a couple of strikeouts and plenty of groundouts to go along with that. The last 4 batters he's faced have grounded out on the infield. And so now we'll get a new arm in as Thatch accepts some round of applause from the Cotuit faithful.
He's cracking a smile, too. Rightfully so. Over 2 scoreless for Thatch. Not bad for his first pitching appearance since April 25th.
Not bad at all, and it sets the table for Ben Grable, who will be on to get the final out here in the bottom of the 8th inning, and then most likely get those 3 in the top of the 9th, top of the 8th and top of the 9th, I should say. We haven't seen him come into the game in a couple of days, but good to see him back out there on the mound. He'll be facing Gavin Turley. And he is 0 for 1 on the day, but has been hit by the pitch twice. So that's definitely something to look after here as the first man that Grable will face.
Yeah, and back-to-back at-bats, too. Which sometimes it's rare to see one in a game for one hitter, but two and 2 consecutive plate appearances and in the same game.
So he'll look to wrap things up here in this one.
Last appearance for Grable, pitched against Harwich, the last loss for Cotuit back on June 19th. 2 runs on a pair of hits, a strikeout, and 3 walks in 1 full inning of work. His last 2 appearances, Joe, he's given up 4 runs. But that first debut he had versus Wareham got a 2-inning shutout victory in that 3-2 win.
Hitting upwards of 94, 95 with the fastball, really finding that velocity nicely for Ben Grable. And we started this game with Jake Gigliotti on the mound out of Northeastern. And now it'll be Ben Grable out of Northwestern to finish things off. The first pitch just a little bit low and away to Gavin Turley. 1-0, he starts him out 94 with that heater, and he comes set again. This one drilled into center field. Back goes Bateman. He's got a beat on it, and he makes the catch there. So Grable comes in, tosses a couple pitches there to Gavin Turley, gets the final out of the top of the 8th inning. And the 9th inning awaits on the Kettleers Digital Network. Cotuit 12, Falmouth 1.
Can I tell you something just between you and me? When I hear your voice, I know I'm finally free. Every single word is perfect as it can be. And I need you here with me every day. You're saying the words that I want you to say. There's a pain in my heart and it won't go away. Now I know I'm falling in deep, 'cause I need you every day.
Swing and a high fly ball, deep right field, no doubt about it. Goodbye. A solo home run for Tanner Thatch.
Now I know I'm falling in deep, 'cause I need you here with me. Can I tell you something just between you and me? When I hear your voice, I know I'm finally free. Every single word is perfect as it can be, 'cause I need you here with me.
Have a hit! Have a hit!
Back from Lowell Park for the 9th inning between Falmouth and Cotuit. Cotuit a 12-1 lead. Over the Commodores, it has been nothing but offense.
It really has been. We've seen 13 combined hits, or excuse me, runs, 20 combined hits. A little bit of a lopsided, though, differential between the two. Kettleers' offense has been rolling.
1-1 to Harry, fouled straight back. Looked like it may have caught the home plate umpire that time. It's 1-2, and this is the bottom of the 8th inning. Excuse me there. Hopefully the last time the Kettleers will come up to bat in this one. Just looking to get those final 3 in the top half of the 9th inning as Harry takes upstairs for ball 2 on 92 that time from Sam Highfill. Third arm in this one for Falmouth. And Harry gets under that one and fouls it off. Count will remain at 2-2. And the score is 12-1 The last time Cotuit reached that mark was on August 1st, 2021, in a 12-9 win for Cotuit over Falmouth right here at Lowell Park. 2-2. Harry gets a piece of it, dribbles it to the left side. That one's going to stay fair. A perfect half swing bunt that time from Jay Harry. You can hear the cheers from the Cotuit dugout. Man, how was he able to keep that one fair?
I mean, that was just a dribbler up the line. I think we're all thinking the same thing. And it was between the 3/4 and half swing. I'm not good with fractions, so I can't tell you exactly.
5/8.
Maybe okay, there you go. That's right. But he got just enough of it. And I mean, as a third baseman like Bazell there, you're pretty much just handcuffed. Your only play is picking it up, and it's in fair territory because he wasn't going to have a play on it at first, and it wasn't going to trickle foul.
1-0 catches the corner to Cannon Peebles, and he's on for his 5th trip up to the dish. Last time, along with the first 4 at-bats for him, he was batting as a righty, the switch hitter. He takes strike 2 there, of course, with the right-handed throwing Sam Highfill on now. He'll be batting from the left side as a switch hitter. And a big hole on that right side of the infield. As the 1-2, he skies it foul over the home grandstands here. And shadows completely taken over, and some cloud cover over our left shoulders behind us, as we experienced plenty of weather last night in Hyannis. Nice to see the clouds dissipate and clear away for this Friday night Red Shirt Friday edition of Cape Cod baseball. First time this year that Cotuit faces Falmouth. And of course, last year they lost the season series 3-2-1. That was the advantage that the Commodores took, as Peebles fouls that one in off his hands. He is still hung in there at 2-2.
That's the first time Peebles is batting out of the left side. His last 2 at-bats here against Highfill, because first 2 pitchers were lefties.
Sends the count full. That infield shifted a little bit more to the left. And the righty on lefty matchup. 3-2, swung on and missed, strike 3. Looks like that top hand came off that time from Cannon Peebles. He goes down on strikes for the first time today. It'll bring up Emilian Pitre.
That's a great pitch by Highfill there. Belt-high fastball, foul tipped into the glove of Yannick. It's interesting, it showed up at 91 of the gun, but it sounded a lot faster. Good pop there on the pitch from Highfill.
Pitre digs in. 1-0 just outside. It's 2-0. Driven in a run and scored a run in the 4th and 5th innings. Struck out a couple times, but been able to reach base on that fielder's choice back there in the 4th. And he gets a hold of this one, skies it into right field. That takes Tracy back to the fence, to the warning track. He leaps up and he makes the grab. Man, what a catch right there by Tab Tracy. Robs Cannon Peebles of extra bases. Excuse me, that was Emilian Pitre.
And the bullpen there was fired up in right field. I mean, Tracy just kept watching it. He was eyeing it down. Pitre just kind of gazed at it, might have thought it was going to leave the yard, and he just reaches over the yellow line. What a catch there by Tracy. He plays great defense out there for the Commodores.
First pitch finds the zone to Ryan Waldschmidt, who's had himself a great debut. take strike one, but he's got 3 hits on the day, a solid 3 for 3. Couple of singles his last 2 at-bats, that homer to start things off in the 3rd. He was hit by the pitch in the 4th. That drove in a run. He also came around to score on that. So 3 runs scored on the day and 2 RBIs for Ryan Waldschmidt. A big swing right there at a 1-1 fastball. Count 1-2. Highfill comes set, ready to deliver the 1-2 home. Just outside on the fastball, 2-2.
We'll see what Waldschmidt can do here. 3 for 3. He is a triple shy of the cycle, 2 in his debut.
2-2. In off the hands, into right field for a base hit. His 4th of the day. So Waldschmidt just continuing to find a way to get on base, and that his 4th base knock.
And check swing tapper. Waldschmidt knocks his 4th hit of the ball game. Not a bad way to start the Cape League career there for the Kentucky Wildcat.
Now it'll be Kalai Harrison, 2 on, 2 out here in the bottom of the 8th inning. A 12-1 Cotuit lead, and he sends this one into right field. That'll take Tracy way back, and he makes the catch there. Slides and tumbles into the fence in right center field. He robs Kalai Harrison of a 2-out extra base hit. Some stellar defense in the bottom of the 8th inning from Tab Tracy. He holds the Kettleers at 12-1, and Ben Grable will return to the mound looking to get the final 3 outs and secure the 8th win of the season for the Kettleers.
Last night's game? Catch up on everything that happened with daily recaps and sidebar stories from Shane Patagna and Jimmy Middleton by visiting cotuitkettleers.org/blog.
There's a weekend in July where the baseball world revolves around a village in upstate New York. Baseball Hall of Fame induction weekend in Cooperstown is an unforgettable experience filled with family-friendly activities and priceless moments. Make your plans today for July 21st through the 24th for the induction of Fred McGriff and Scott Rowland as the class of 2023. Visit baseballhall.org today for the entire schedule. See you in Cooperstown, where the journey becomes legend.
Hi, this is Ryan Glaney, the corner infielder for the Cotuit Kettleers, and you're listening to the Kettleers Digital Network.
Stay in touch with the Kets on our social media. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram by going to Cotuit Kettleers to keep up to date with scores, pictures, behind-the-scenes content, and more. Follow us today.
Celebrate the history of our national pastime at the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum in Cooperstown. See priceless treasures.
Top of the 9th inning, 3 outs to get here for Ben Grable in a 12-1 lead that Cotuit has held since the 6th inning. And an offensive explosion there in the 4th and 5th. With this Kettleers offense, that's been the difference today. But of course, it could have just taken the 3 long balls hit by Ryan Galaney, Ryan Waldschmidt, and Caleb Lomavita. All 3 of those being solo shots. The 0-1, swing and a miss for strike 2 there against Cade Snell. Grable facing Snell, who's 2 for 3 on the day. A strikeout in the 2nd, followed by 2 singles. The 0-2, and it's swung on and missed for strike 3. So 2nd time today that Snell goes down by way of the K, and it brings up Christian Martin.
Grable's now thrown 6 pitches, and he's gotten 2 batters out. Right there, just blows it by him for a swinging strike 3.
First pitch to Martin. He spoils foul just over that Cotuit dugout and grandstand, out of play. Cotuit 18 hits on the board. that a season high by quite a bit. The 0-1 down low in the dirt. It's 1-1 now. Christian Martin, a pretty good day at the plate for Falmouth relatively, as he drove in there 1 run. And he tips that one into the glove of Lomavita. He's behind 1-2. 95 that time from Grable. That sac fly in the 4th inning made it a 2-1 game. 10 unanswered after that. The 1-2 home is in the dirt again. It's 2-2. He lined out to second on a great leaping catch from Kalai Harrison, and then struck out in the 6th. Grable looking for his 2nd straight K here. The 2-2 home. In the dirt again, it's 3-2. Grable ready, the 3-2. And he walked him. The first base runner since the 6th inning for the Commodores.
How about this guy defensively at the plate? And Tab Tracy. He pretty much saved 3 to 4 runs out and right a half inning ago.
Grabbed that one right around the fence, almost over the fence from Emilian Pitre. Actually not sure how close that one was to being a home run. The runner goes. Lomavita's throw down to second is not in time. And Christian Martin has himself a stolen bag. Then Tracy was able to steal an extra base hit off the bat of Kalai Harrison. That was with 2 Kettleers on base. As the 0-2 is swung on and missed for strike 3. Ben Grable picks up his 2nd swinging strikeout of the 9th inning, and there is 1 out remaining for the Commodores in this one.
Just a mistimed swing there from Tracy. Grable, the velocity is up. Seems like he's just pitching, a lot of adrenaline pumping. Going to try and close it out. He's sitting 94, 95. That's what he's been topping out at.
That one was 94 there on the called strike to Travis Bazana. Started off this game with a grounder to first base, and he grounds this one to second. Pitre there. He's going to underhand toss to Galaney, and that's the 3rd out and final out from Lowell Park. Cotuit wins it 12-1 in a massive offensive output there in the 4th and 5th inning, but it was the long ball that really jump-started this offense early, Tyler, and a much-needed win after dropping that tough one last night in Hyannis.
Yeah, Ryan Galaney, Waldschmidt, Lomavita, all connecting with big blasts. Waldschmidt with a 4-for-4 day, and you can tell that Cotuit's offense, they came out maybe a little bit infuriated after the tough result yesterday, after the offense had looked really strong, the pitching had looked really strong, and then the final 2 innings were the difference. They come out raring to go out of the gates today and quickly putting behind Thursday's performance. What a response by Mike Roberts' Kettleers.
And Mike Roberts will be joined by Lily Butler at field level for a live post-game interview in just a few moments. But before then, we're going to take a quick break on the Kettleers Digital Network.
hits it high and deep to left field. This ball is crushed.
I was born like this, is born like this, immaculate conception. I transform like this, perform like this, will shout you a new weapon. I don't contemplate, I meditate, then off your bed. This that put the kiss to bed. This that I got.
It'll bring your baseball memories to life. Connect with events that have shaped and changed the game and our country. Our stories to tell, your memories to share. Plan your visit today at baseballhall.org.
Cotuit Kettleers baseball clinics offer instructional baseball clinics for boys and girls ages 6 through 17, geared to their individual needs and skills. All participants have the opportunity to learn fundamental skills as well as good citizenship, sportsmanship, and character from skilled, experienced coaches and top collegiate baseball players. Clinics begin Monday, June 27th and end Friday, July 29th. To sign up, go to info.collegebaseballcamps.com/CK.
Cotuit Baseball lives here on the Kettleers Digital Network.
Cape Cod Coffee is a proud sponsor of the Kettleers. They offer breakfast and lunch as well as indoor and outdoor dining. Check out Cape Cod Coffee at their 3 locations on Route 130, at Mashpee Commons, at Wareham Commons, or on their website at capecodcoffee.com.
Stay in touch with the Kets on our social media. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram by going to Cotuit Kettleers to keep up to date with scores, pictures, behind-the-scenes content, and more. Follow us today.
When the unexpected happens, make sure you and your assets are insured appropriately. The agents at Leonard Insurance Agency can tailor coverage to meet your needs. Call 508-428-6921 to talk to their licensed agents today.
Missed last night's game? Catch up on everything that happened with daily recaps and sidebar stories from Shane Patagna and Jimmy Middleton by.
We welcome you back into postgame from Lowell Park. Cotuit taking down the Commodores 12-1 in game 12 of the season. They pick up their 9th win on the year. They improve to 9-3-0, and they elevate to 18 points this season. That is a league lead ahead of second place Harwich Mariners in the East Division. They have 14 points of their own. And Mike Roberts will be joining Lily Butler down at field level in just a few moments, Tyler. But another great pitching performance, started off by Jake Gigliotti, and then the bats really found a groove in the 4th inning.
Yeah, I think the offense's performance really overshadows how dominant pitching was. I mean, they gave up that run, and that was pretty much it, and they settled in nicely.
And now Mike Roberts makes his way over to join Lily Butler with our postgame tonight at Lowell Park, just after Cotuit's massive victory over the Commodores. Lily?
Joined alongside head coach Mike Roberts after a 12-1 Kettleers victory over the Falmouth Commodores. Coach, tonight the Kets came with their game faces on and did not mess around at the plate. 18 hits, plenty of those over the fence. What was the key factor in tonight's offense?
Well, I don't know there's one key factor, but I think, again, we talked about bouncing back today after kind of a tough loss last night, and but we're a good team, but you got to go out every day. Nobody, you can't just show up and play, and so I think the guys were very determined today to bounce back from the game last night. Offensively, it's the first time we've gotten Ryan Gigliotti back in the lineup in a while, and of course he hit the first home run of several and got us off to a good start. Ryan Wallstat was in the game for the first. Wall Smith was in the game for the first time. First at bat as a Cape Cod player, hit a home run. So obviously the home runs got us off to a good start, and then the rest of the hits began to fall.
Speaking of Ryan Gigliotti home run and bouncing back, that was his first at bat back after a minor injury there. What can you say about his ability to just fight through adversity like he did?
Well, Ryan's a veteran. He spent 4 great years at Wofford playing for one of my former players, Todd Interdonato. And Wofford has a wonderful program. They're aggressive. They run the bases well. Really tough young men that play there for Todd. And Ryan's one of those guys. We had him for a while last summer and loved him, and so pleased that he's back. Went down with a little bit of a leg injury, but he was determined to get back in the lineup and play. And we're really glad to have him because you always need that experience. He's going into his 5th year, and we need that experience. And I think Ryan helps us in many, many ways with his leadership.
And then receiving news this morning of former Kettleer Nick Gonzalez being called up to the Pirates. What can you say about your reaction to that news and then your relationship with Nick Gonzalez?
I get emotional. I am so thrilled that 3 guys off that 2019 team are in the big leagues with Matt Mervis and Casey Smith and Nick Gonzalez, and I can see them out on this field in the championship game. Wow. Nick's like a son to me. I work for the Pirates. He's in the Pirates organization. He was MVP of the Cape League. We always knew he'd play in the big leagues. But to hear that announcement today, I can see his family and I can see his fiance. I wrote him a note, and I couldn't be any more thrilled. It's like one of my children.
I know you're so excited for him to be joining you in the Pirates organization. A great night for current and former Kettleers, and we did, of course, bounce back, as you said, that the Kettleers would. So thank you so much, Coach, and congratulations. For the Kettleers Digital Network from Lowell Park, I'm Lily Butler.
Well, there you have it. Thank you, Mike Roberts, for joining us once again post-game after this big win for Cotuit, and some nice words there for a former Kettleer.
Wow, that was really powerful. I think that just shows you, 1, the power of the Cape Cod Baseball League, and 2, the passion that Mike Roberts coaches with, how much he cares about his players and about his team, and how he stays in touch with them. I mean, that goes to show you the relationships that he has with his guys, and really cool moment. That 3rd player for the 2019 championship team to make their major league debut. Pretty cool.
His roots in this league date way back, and we'll be experiencing some more of that tomorrow night when he coaches against his former team, the Wareham Gatemen. That game will be played at Spillane Field at 6 p.m. tomorrow night, and that'll be broadcasted on MixLR on the Kettleers Radio Network. But as far as tonight goes, that's going to do it for us up here in the broadcast booth. For myself, Tyler Danberg, Lily Butler, Liam Barrett, and Abigail Lott, your final score: Cotuit 12, Falmouth 1 on the Kettleers Digital Network.